God damn it. Oh, well, no, it just wore off there. Shava Van Voigt. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, thank you. That's a La Macnas. Mm.
Goodbye for now.
He got one shot. God damn it. Oh my god. I'm gonna get fucking owned. I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna try. Oh god. Okay. Ah. I'm out. That's expensive to do, but it's fun. Oh, cool. You can just fast travel. So I killed the big guy, I guess, and I can't get him again. I want to go blow another 1,000 on a finger and see if I can beat this boss. I think it's fun.
Wait. Well, you're back.
I think it's too expensive to buy these, but... Wow, he has a limited amount. That's
Goodbye.
okay.
Nice to do business.
I guess I should
What is
buy,
it?
Yeah, I should buy now, like at the crafting kit. Yeah, I see now that I should do that.
Goodbye
That's all right.
for now.
Yeah. Oh, beat the first boss. Now I have 2,500 souls. I thought it would be a lot more than that, but that's okay. It was expensive, but at least I got the spear. Not that I want it, but yeah. I suppose it's better than the... Well, no, it's probably not better than the sword because you can't block. The spear doesn't really make sense for my build at all. I won't have the strength to wield it, so... Wow, I can summon 2 more, and I still have a summon sign, which is awesome, but... Now I've cleared him, so... Cool. You know, works for me. Oh, I gotta get my stuff back, yeah. Well, that was easy enough. I'll go buy crafting so I can make more of these. Yeah, I realize now that the crafting is good and I do want to do it.
Wait. Well, you're
Yeah, so we'll buy this, and that, and that, and that. And then I should buy that, but I don't know. Well, yeah, Flask of Wondrous Physique. No,
I'm glad you took my... You've made an...
Oh, cool! I can make finger calling remedies to them. I shouldn't have spent the souls on that one. I should have just bought the crafting, but now I know better. I can make this out of rune fragments. Yeah, let's see what it does. What? Oh, it's like a I see. It's like a marker. That's cool. Well, I beat my first boss. That's good. Oh no, I'm being hurt. Oh no! Take my eyes off for 1 second, damn it. game's so much more fun than Shrouded, frankly. Combat-wise, anyways. Roadside cave. Okay. Oh, look, I can summon here. Oh, cool. But I can't, can I rest? Oh, it's gonna make those things go away, I think. That's okay. So that was good. Yeah. Is it that way? I can't remember. Flamedrake Talisman, nice. I beat my second boss. Boost fire damage negation. Sounds good to me. Probably pretty helpful for like the oncoming battles and stuff. That's fucking sweet. I'll take it. Yeah, fire resistance, always really good. Yeah, that's like having like, you know, flame retarded clothing. It's just good when things try to breathe fire on you and shit like that. This was awesome. Yeah, like this was sweet. I love this game. I always have. So I made a mistake with the way I bound. I don't want that. I want oh yeah. Oh yeah, I bought that new shield and I didn't even change it, so there we go. And then, yep, and then unbind that, I want you to remove, and then I want you to put on that one, I want you to put that, right? Bolts, sure, I guess, yeah, but yeah, it's cool. I forgot that, you know, I can rock a bow. I can rock a bow when I'm out of mana, which is cool, you know? For like boss fights and shit like that, I'll get a good bow. I'll figure out where I can get a good bow. And now we'll go, oh yeah, so and torch. Why can't other games get such good torch as this? It looks so good. Like the way the torch looks and how well it lights up and everything. Wish other games would do it as well as that. Have I died? Yeah, I've definitely died, but I haven't died from bosses, which is good. Or
You
yes, I
should
did die from a
absolutely get
boss.
this
I
account
have died from a
subpoenaed
boss.
because again, the actual account itself here talks about this is for anybody who wants to be a supernatural. Do you have anything for werewolves? Any spells? Nobby, we don't do goddamn spells. One of the comments is downright scary, where they're talking about we are looking for USA girls, mostly in Georgia, USA. So again, these are accounts that need to be brought up, investigated.
Gotta
and
pee,
looked
guys.
at
I'm terribly
by law
sorry.
enforcement
I'll be right
agencies,
back.
because there could actually be some serious.
Oh, I am full or something. I don't know what's going on here. Oops. Compress, 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 compression, compress. There we are. Esteban next. I want an ice elemental if I can do it on widescan. Yeah. Oh, the Shadow Dragon is up, which I wonder if that's good XP. Go see. Oh shit. Yeah, it'd be fun to pop Biost or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if I can kill him. I kind of doubt it, but maybe with the tiger's roar, we'll be okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. We're okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna run buffs. I gotta go pee real quick. I'll be right back, guys. This guy drops Gil, if I recall, which is good. I've always thought he looked pretty cool, actually. I caught a mining op, which is good. Oh, he warped out the, yeah, he warped out the orca, huh?
Your skill has increased.
Oh, these guys left, yeah, yeah, Shava just, like, left, huh? Yeah, they all left, huh? That's okay. I like the Elden Ring fucking, ambient music, always have.
Autopilot
God, I
engaged.
wish they would make Bloodborne 1 on PC. Maybe they'll make a Bloodborne 2 finally.
Serious evidence, I believe, hiding behind here that can cause
Warping to
some serious
Stargate.
justice for anybody
Warp drive
involved in the
active.
situation that feels that they've been wrong. One of the last things I wanted to cover too that really rubbed me the wrong way that I actually didn't mention in my previous video was one situation regarding Max's mega upload folder. Now, Max made numerous investigations where he actually covered numerous cases, and this error message that you're seeing apparently belongs to one of his mega folders. Now, Mega is a file sharing service, and what Max had used this for was placing his evidence in these servers for people to view underneath his video by looking into the description, from my understanding. Now, the error message here is this folder or file was reported to contain objectionable content, such as CSAM material, violent extremism, or bestiality. The link creator's account has been closed, and their full details, including IP, has been provided to the authorities. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is an incredibly alarming message, and it's one where I didn't want to speculate, I didn't want to waste time. I'd even confronted Max about this. Now, I asked Max, something alarming popped up, where Max said, "Hey Muda, the drive contained information that evidence pertaining to
Approaching
predators,
Stargate.
some of which included videos, photos, where the predators appeared nude, which is why the drives were publicly available. Have you been keeping up with the servers? I've been jumping in and out, saw this, and it was alarming. I'm wondering if the legality is totally above board. This investigation dies if you store any possible illegal material on a private server. I know even if it's evidence, you submit the whole drive to the authorities in a physical format." Max says, "We don't store anything anywhere. I told them I would not work with them if they did." And again, he asks if we could platform him on my channel or the Some Ordinary podcast. If the mega is taken down, what exactly did they say? Usually those bans are delivered as a result of a fingerprint match. And of course, Max says this mega pertains to previous videos. And there were multiple predators, like their nude photos of them, and videos of them as evidence for law enforcement. And the video he refers to me as is Mama Max's channel, mylol.apk. Now, the reason why this is a massive red flag
Autopilot
to me
jumping.
is, as somebody that's covered situations like Trafficking Hub, I've explained to you guys time and time again how image platforms, video sharing platforms, actually calculate illegal material on the internet. And it's not because there's somebody magical sitting behind a computer day in and day out
Warp
looking
drive
through illegal
active.
material. It's not like there is a massive server somewhere where illegal images are stored in their original files. No, in most cases, illegal information is stored in hashes. Those hash files are then checked against other hashes of images, objects that you have on your local device or wherever you store online continuously, and if a hash gets tripped, which there could be false positives, but generally there aren't if you've read up on how YouTube CSAI match works or Microsoft's Photo DNA. Both incredibly well tools, both incredibly free to use, and both designed to assist law enforcement and websites to stop illegal material from ever being posted in the the first place. They all check hashes, okay? Literally fingerprints.
New
within
World.
user files.
That's funny.
And
Same
it can
same
be
New
pretty
World stuff.
difficult to actually take these things down. Think of it like advanced, super advanced content ID. So I decided to go to Mega's transparency, and I wanted to see exactly how they identify objectionable content. So usually how it works is a bunch of individuals report individual links. So individuals like me and you who find something shady on their platform, they hit the report button, and it goes right to Mega. Now in some cases, law enforcement agencies report, NGOs report, and the industry can report too. But as you can see, a vast majority, thousands of their actual reports are from actual users. Now of course, when it comes to how they detect this, in fact, actually the appeals are very interesting. When an account gets hit, they can appeal, but the appeals are so limited that I'm not joking. In certain quarters, they have literally allowed 0 appeals to go through. In fact, their highest appeals were 10 appeals, and this is obviously
Autopilot jumping.
thousands of accounts being taken down. Very, very few accounts ever get reinstated, which I have mentioned is most likely because of a possible false positive. Look, Max's explanation really hurts me a lot because for it to make sense,
Warping
he
to
would
Stardate.
actually have to have some of
Warp
these
drive
illegal
active.
predators, if they have illegal images from them stored. What I'm getting at is Max's explanation here still rubs me the wrong way. Look, if you have, somebody's nude photo or whatever, it's not by itself going to trip any hash. The only reason a hash gets tripped is because it got ran against a known hash in the FBI database, NCMEC, or Interpol. In fact, I'll let Mega explain how this works. In 2022, Mega commenced a new process to download the content of public links that are reported to contain illegal content such as CSAM to a server controlled by the New Zealand government. Hashes are calculated for each downloaded file and then compared to hash sets provided by Interpol and NCMEC. Details of files that match the hashes of illegal content are then passed to Mega so the files can be removed from any account that has imported the file from the original public link.
Approaching
Those
Stargate.
users are given a final warning, and the accounts are closed for any users who have on-shared the illegal content. This process resulted in the closure of 642,000 accounts during the 6 months from 30th of September 2023. So yeah, they shut down a lot of accounts, but in order for these flags to be tripped, you actually have to be matching against known files. So, who had those known files? And again, a mass majority of the actual questionable material falls under CSAM. There are things that fall under violent extremism, but a lot of that has to do with actual illegal videos of mass shootings that have been striped from all social media platforms, except a very few that have just kept them up as a last defiant pitch against freedom of speech. But that's a whole different story. Max told me that he was not in charge of the drives. It was someone on my team who would distribute the evidence I documented. I only linked the drives after everything was uploaded. So Max has said that somebody on his team was running those drives, and they were the people that were uploading this actual
Autopilot
illegal
jumping.
content. So again, this borderlines on another issue that I have. When you're a YouTuber doing an investigation, you gotta do everything by the goddamn book. The fact that you even have people on your team that are getting law enforcement to investigate you
Warping to
over
Stargate.
illegally acquired
Warp drive
materials,
active.
which can land not you in jail, not just you, but ruin any case that you work on. Look, at the end of the day, the Mama Max situation has blown up to a level that nobody could have thought would happen. And Max is still working on a response, which I am down to see at any given moment. I know that while the bridge between us is burnt, the story that he's covering, at least to me, feels real. And it's one of those situations where seeing this situation blow up in the last 7 days in a very negative manner is just not okay. Look, there are real people that I believe have been hurt by this. And for that considering, I am giving my full support as much as I can. Whether that be emotionally, whether that be helping them liaison with actual law enforcement agents or lawyers, and providing whatever form of financial
Approaching
benefit that I
Stargate.
can reasonably provide. That's all that I can do. Look, at the end of the day, this situation should not have blown up the way that it did. And Max should have known from the beginning that if he was going to make claims, he should have substantiated them. And now in a situation where multiple people disavow, tons of information has been leaked, the NDA holds no water anymore, people's lives could potentially be in danger. The only way to rectify this is, again, like Max is doing, stay completely radio silent, and now actually work with law enforcement. And all I can hope is none of this case has been tainted. I know that it has been, but hopefully things can be salvaged and repaired. But ladies and gentlemen, this is again just to follow up on the Mac situation. I wanted to cover a few pieces of things that have been asked of me, and I also wanted to cover a few things that I didn't get to in my original video. Hopefully the next time I talk about the situation, it's in a very positive way. But yeah, this is me, Mudahar, and wild
Autopilot
stuff, man.
jumping.
But I'm out.
Autopilot
Greetings,
disabled.
survivors and friends, Shadowcrax here, and as we head screaming for February's patch next week, here's all the stuff you need to know in Rust development, and of course most of this is currently on the staging branch, where you can test it out. I've got all the latest changes
Your
to
skill has
backpacks
increased.
coming up, as they're going to be a big part of next week's patch.
Backpacks!
Along with a few other things that are being worked on, including some details on the nightlight Help's been working on. But first of all, beepity beep beep, the metal detector and shovel have been merged to staging and are ready for action. Here's how they work, and remember, this is all still subject to
Metal
change for another week at
detector.
least. The metal detector is a default blueprint at the moment. It costs 2 rope and 200 wood to craft, because naturally that's what they're all made
200
of,
wood.
don't you know? And the shovel doesn't appear to be craftable just yet, so I'm not sure on that one at the moment. To use a detector, simply whip it out and start moving around, and as soon as you get fairly near to something metal in the ground, it'll start beeping. You'll also notice some LED lights, which will give you a visual indication of how warm you're getting, and that replace the on-screen UI that I showed in the last vid. Once you've filled up the bar and got close enough to something, it's time to home in on it by holding the right mouse button. This will then allow you to start filling up the second bar of LEDs, pinpointing the exact
active.
spot of the treasure and placing down a small flag. At this point, you can deploy the shovel and start digging, and once thrice thwacked, the buried booty will pop straight up out of the ground. As the shovel is a separate tool, it'll probably make things a lot more efficient if you had a buddy to dig up what you find. I don't know, another thing that benefits clans. As far as I can see, it works in most areas, but I don't know whether the things you'll find will vary from one locale to another, and don't worry.
Another thing. Oh, an assault rifle!
There's nothing to see here. You won't be finding AKs. This is an aberration and will be fixed by management in due time. The loot table isn't
Damn it.
finalised yet, you see, so the things you're seeing me womble for aren't indicative of the final hoards you'll be able to uncover, although I won't turn my nose up at cans of beans. Anything that gets us closer to that elusive Tier 2 cooking, eh? Talking of Tier 2 cooking, today's sponsor is Factor. Factor delivers fresh, pre-prepared restaurant-quality meals to your doorstep that are ready to eat in just minutes. And as there's no prep and no mess, that means so much extra time to spend on more pleasurable
Rust
activities
is getting
like
so
sitting
good.
down and
It makes me emotional. It's such a good time to be alive in terms of gaming. It's the best it's ever been. They just keep outdoing themselves, and Rust is a good example of it. The frames are still a little bit crazy.
playing games. Also add to that list some other really nice things, such as not having to go out of the house to get ingredients, not having to do the washing up, and my personal favourite, not even having to think about what to cook tonight. Your synapses will be barely firing, but you'll still be eating like a king. Factor offers a rotating weekly menu of over 34 delicious meals, plus a shed load of add-ons like smoothies, shakes, desserts, and more, with dieting options such as vegan, vegetarian, calorie smart, and keto all catered for. There's got to be plenty on offer here to satisfy your appetite. Not only is Factor incredibly convenient, it's now more affordable than ever. Just use my link in the description or my code POGFRAXJAN50 to not only get 50% off your first box, but also free wellness shots for life. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. Back to the news, and now to the latest tweaks and changes to backpacks, which, as you'll recall from last vid, are going to come in 2 sizes. And I'm sorry, but It appears that there may be 1 or 2 tiny visual bugs at the moment with them, but I'm sure management will have these fixed very soon. Yes, this adds a new meaning to bum bag. First thing you'll notice is that now weapons are being displayed on the sides of backpacks instead of them just poking out of the top, and this is all nice and tidy and makes much more sense. Also, you'll notice that when opening a backpack in your inventory, your character model will rotate and move over instead of disappearing, which is a nice little touch. As well as this, the large backpack capacity has been reduced slightly to 28. There were some tweaks to
Oh, they're expanding the storage. Awesome.
In them, for instance, an empty small backpack will despawn in 20 minutes and an empty large one in 40, but this will increase with the amount and types of items inside them up to a maximum of 2 hours. All of this backpack stuff is, of course, also subject to change, so don't take anything here as final yet. Something that happened earlier in the month that I should really cover again is that shelters are being limited down to 1 per player at a time, although I have found out that there is a convar that server owners can set to adjust this, which is server.max_shelters, with the default being 1. There are some other tweaks being made that you need to know about. Eocus will be more likely to shoot after every failed strike. SAM sites won't shoot down MLRS rockets. Ladder hatches will no longer require ladders to repair. Embrasures and shutters will be rotatable using R when being deployed, and an option's being added to have the map button as a toggle instead of having to hold it. 2 works in progress, and some new items are in the works. Probably later today, a couple of Lunar New Year bits and pieces should be added to staging, but here's an image of one. A dragon launcher, which looks like a reskin for the rocket launcher, and along with this there's also mention of a spear. As well as this, there are commits relating to a frontier hatchet, so we're not quite done with the frontier stuff it seems. And of course there's still work ongoing for an M939 American truck. The compound redesign is in full swing, with commits showing it will have city hall and helipad, rooftop rope bridges, a graveyard fence, zip lines, a cobalt brutalist statue and a church, among other things. Looking forward to seeing how that turns out. There's more work on an improved skin viewer and of course Tutorial Island, which hopefully I will be able to show you something more on next week, so stay tuned and sub to keep in the loop on that one. And lastly, Helk has been working on a night light, which details have been sparse on, but I did manage to find out something about this, although I must stress it's all very experimental and I wouldn't get your little hopes up about it just yet.
Aww.
This is in an effort to make nights slightly more pleasant, and the idea is that there will be a dim light in a small radius surrounding the player to help them navigate in the dark and will simulate their eyes adjusting. And don't worry, this is only meant to be visible to the player himself and doesn't mean that you'll be able to see glowing players in the distance. I mean, I know we're radioactive, but that would be taking it a bit too far. Still not sure if this will be a definite thing yet, but I will let you know when I get my hands on it, so stay tuned. That's about all there is to show and tell at the moment, but come back next week and I'm sure I'll have much more. In the meantime, please leave a like, sub and a comment below to tell me what you think. You can find me on Twitch and lots of other places, my Steam group, and also support my work here via Patreon, YouTube memberships and super thanks. I shall catch you all soon, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay frosty. Cheerio. Yes, this adds a new meaning to bum bag.
America, we need to talk. We've grown apart these last few years. It's not you, it's Mississippi. It's Mississippi. Pew Research reports that for the past 7 years, Americans have increasingly felt that their political opposites are stupider, more dishonest, more immoral, and lazier. And the simple fact is, they're right, regardless of what side they're on.
I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
And in light of this increasing political acrimony among Americans, some have begun to think it was good.
That was the one where he sleeps with girls from both sides of the abortion
For example,
argument.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has declared a
At the
crisis
abortion
at the border
rally?
and says that Texas
Oh,
has a
God.
right to self-defense and is going to take over immigration duties from the U.S. government and stop the U.S. government from...
I love this place. Let's go kill the horseman. I wonder if there's summon thing. If I can summon people here. Let's go kill him.
Oi!
Hells yeah. I wish I could level. Why can't I level? I can't remember when you get a level, but yeah. It'll be nice when I can. I think I'll get my stuff back here.
Interfering. And many politicians agree, like Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who triggered a firestorm of criticism by repeatedly demanding a national divorce in which Red America and Blue America go their separate ways. And we should listen to Congressperson Greene because she knows from experience what it means when someone decides they can't stand you anymore
mean
and
Civil
unceremoniously
War.
leaves you. But while Greene was pilloried on all sides for her call for splitting up the Union, a March 2023 poll suggests that around 1/5 of the population, or 66 million
Oh, this is
Americans, if
it.
you can extrapolate from
Yeah, I was like, don't you talk to a girl here who lets you level? But when it didn't happen, I was like, why can't I level? I love this girl. She's awesome. Yeah, she's the best character in the game.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Melina. Oh, yes. Sweet. That's so good to my... Oh, God, what happened to your eye,
offer
girl?
you an accord.
Okay.
Have you heard of the Finger Maidens?
I've fingered some maidens, yeah.
They serve the Two Fingers.
I'm sure they
offering
do.
guidance
Oh, yeah.
and aid.
Oh, yeah.
to the
I can offer
tarnished.
some guidance aid with 2 fingers. Yeah, oh, yeah.
But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength
Turning
to aid
runes
you
into strength.
in your search for the Elden Ring.
Search with the Elden
You
Ring.
need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree.
Absolutely.
I understand. I'm asking you to put faith in but a stranger. Yet I'm certain that we can reach an understanding. Summon me by grace, if you should reconsider.
Did you say no? You said no by mistake. No, 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 no. Talk to Melina, you idiot.
Have you reconsidered my offer?
Yes, I said yes. I don't know why
Then
it
it's
said
settled.
no.
Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength.
Sounds good to me. You mean vigor, not strength.
Another matter. I bequeath to you this ring.
You bequeath? Oh, she queefed for me.
Use it to traverse great distances.
Oh, for you to queef?
It will summon
I will.
a spectral steed.
You can
named
queef on me
Torrent.
anytime. Oh, yeah.
Torrent has chosen you. Treat him
I've
with
chosen
respect.
Torrance. Damn it, a supposed to be at the player there. Okay, and cool. Oops. Shift, okay. So I got the horse. Okay, what a fucking weird system. All vigor, all the time. Oh no. What's happening here? Oh no. Oh, bind. Where is he? I don't see him. Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah, aren't these tools like guarding something? It looks good, but it's lacking something that it needs, and I don't know what it is. It's, maybe it's the SSAO. Let's try that and see if that's the difference. Tree and B circle. Cool, a flail. How does it work? Oh no, I can't wear it. It's dex and strength. I can't even use it. It's not the SAAO. Maybe it's the volumetric. That's some of it, but that's still not it. Well, that helped. Whatever. Do I have Shelra 2 now? I don't think I do. I have Protector and Protect 2, but I don't have Shelra. Oh, I do. I have Shelra 2, but I just don't have it. Damn it. Mythic Stone. Map for Lingrave West. Cool. Damn it. Glitchy as hell. Shit, I'm out. That was the last of the Delta, which is annoying. But I mean, eh. A lot of aggro around here could die doing this. Delta was cheap. It was like 3 or 4K, I think. I don't know. I can't pull him without getting others. I should technically go back, but I don't really care. Heal this eye. Fucking annoying.
You there? Yeah, you there? Stop pretending you can't see me. Why won't anyone look me in the eye? I'm not that ugly, am I? Oi! You there? Could you help us out, Cully? Yeah, you there? Stop pretending you can't see me. Oh. What'd you go and do that for? Oh, yes, I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell, weren't you? Thank you. The name's Bob.
I'm dead. That's okay.
I was pushed out
I'm
of the
out
cave.
of,
Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really.
Oh, I've got to check for money. 5 ice clusters isn't bad. It'll have to stack up. Maybe the Aramon stuff and a stack of cotton cloth will actually sell. I've got to buy tigers and food. It sucks. And I've got 20K, but that's not enough. I should monitor my sales. 4,200 is not enough. It'll be enough to get back out there, but yeah. I should sling tellies for like 15 minutes or something. Teleport Den for 3K. Oh god. Oh, you got it, huh? Alright. Oh, well, never mind. I'll just keep stacking stuff, but I do need Delta pet food. Pet food, okay, I need another tiger. Gotta make sure I've got that. 7K, and then let's see about Delta. 3K. Cheaper than I thought, but still gonna break me. $2,900. Okay, that was the tigers and Delta that I needed. Yeah, I could use like another stack of Delta, but I'm getting real low down now. I'll have to do something about money, but Lord knows what. I don't know what. I might have to spend one day just like running goddamn Wings of Fury over and over and over and over again till I get like 3 astral rings, which is something I could do, but boy, it's annoying. I'll probably lose some of it too. Kuzat, Valdunia. I don't know. Can I still get XP off those ants? I should maybe find out. I don't think so. I think I've got to go to Valdunia. It's alright. There's another ice elemental, but the ghost. Wow, did 2 hours pass that fast? Yeah. Oh, damn it. You aggro me? Yeah, you did. That time I got... Nope, I'm right back where I started again. So annoying. Yep.
Warp drive active. Docking request accepted.
$40 million in Esteban, I gotta remember.
Warp drive active.
Oh no, the Atemu! Well, come on, you aggroed me! Come on! God damn it, get on it, get on it. Oh my god, I better just run. Run, run, run. Oh my god. They're gonna kill him. I gotta get the brought back out. Just let him fight for a while. Let him fight the Atemu for a while. Oh god. Not Blizzaga, no! I lost a tiger, huh? God damn it. I can't get a target on this guy. And I'm dead. That's alright. Why did the Atemu aggro? Ah, the red health. Ah, damn it, man. I'm sick of dying over and over and over again. That one cost. Son of a bitch. Why do you keep aggroing over and over and over? Can I get just one fight where I don't get one link or multiple aggro? Was your design that garbage? I believe it was. Most of the MMO fucking mob design is such garbage. Because it's either pop aggro or fucking multiple link over and over and over again. It seems like you're always fighting 7 things. And it makes no fucking sense. No reality would ever be like that, you know? Reality would never put you up against 7 people all the time. It would just never be like that, you know? 1v7s all the time, or 1v3s or whatever. It's like, that's not how reality works, you know? Try again. Man. I don't know. At least I'm getting, like, skill up and stuff. Fucking so annoying. Now I have to wait like 3 minutes for Call Beast. Damn it. It's fine. I'm gonna go way, way, way over where initially I came way, way, way over here, but they found me way, 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 way over here. Now note that there's no mob within, like, that guy's pretty far. Look, he's 40 yoms away. 40 yoms, right? But it won't matter. He'll flood the code will come bring him right directly to me. We can get him 100 yoms away. It won't matter. He'll come here. It's like so weird the way their design is. It's so weird. Oh shit, that ended up wait, this is or no. Wait, this is now how is this right? Now how is this right? I warped out or something.
Warp drive active.
Why did I warp out? Oh, because he fleet warped me. Okay. See it? See it? No mobs anywhere to be seen. But if I alt tab, 5 mobs right on top of me. See it? And dead. It makes no fucking sense. I scan, no mobs, invisible sight. If I alt tab, boom, spawned on top of me. I was gonna go zone, I guess. Maybe try my luck in Faragandi, where I can at least charm stuff or whatever. Maybe I won't get, like, as much undead Link all the time. You know? Oh, God. Oh, God. Why are you turning around? I need you to turn around. Why are you turning around? What was that? You forced me back towards him. What was that? I was so far from them. What was that? What was that? Oh, the poison's gonna kill my fucking ass. Come on, piece of shit. What was this? Oh, no. You forced me to run back towards them. It was insane. It was like a fucking GM turned me around and ran me back towards them almost. What was that? You, like, forced me to run back towards them. God damn it, man. What was that? Like, I'm not coming back here. Like, this has cost me some time trying to go to this terrible place. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, why? What was that? You turned me around and back into them. I had like an 80 yard lead on them. And you were like, no, he's gotta die. He's gotta die. And so the GM, like, cranked up my controls, locked them up, and forced me to run back into them. And I'm like, I'm pressing W. What was that? You turned me around. Fucking terrible ass software bug in the fucking designs of the fucking controls. What was that? Jesus Christ, man, I would never voluntarily turn around and run back into 13 fucking skeletons. I would die first, you know I would. I did not turn around and run back into them. You fucking did that. I did not do that. I did not do that. I did not turn around and run back. That would require pressing the S key, which at no point did I touch. My finger did not leave the W key. I did not press the S key once in the last 4 minutes. Yeah, you had me run back into the fucking people behind me. Why? Why did that happen? Try again, piece of shit. Try again. Why did you turn me around? I did not turn around. You know I did not turn around. I want a camera on my fucking hand so I can be like, why did you fucking turn me around? I did not press S. There, you're doing it again. You did it again. I ran this direction. You turned me around and ran me back that way because you're fucking coding on these fucking cliffs or something is fucking retarded, and it sends I'm leaving this zone. I'm not gonna level in this zone. I've died way too many times. The fuck, man. Fucking terrible ass design from 2003. The only reason I'm playing this game is I can alt tab it at all, and I still care about it. You know, I care about the music and the combat. It's a great game. It's always been it's my favorite game. But watching you force me to turn around and run back into fucking mobs makes me physically want to hurt someone. What the fuck? You know I did not touch the S key. I did not turn the S key. I did not tap the S key 7 times to get her to turn around. Because it's like tap, 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 tap to get her to turn around. I did not run back into them. That's like pressing the S key 17 times. I did not do that. I did not do that. I did not press the S key and then auto run back the other way. I didn't auto run again either. You acted like I auto ran behind me. And it's like, no. Your fucking controls cost me 1,000 XP in under a second. Jesus Christ. Because your game is 20 years old. Ugh. So why fuck me? Why me? I never see anybody else do stupid shit like that, but why me? Why did I have to fucking turn around and go bite those mobs in the face? I did not tell you to turn around and go hug those mobs. Don't act like I did. Don't get it twisted. I did not touch the S key. I did not turn around. I did not stop pressing the W key. The game's just a piece of shit. You know I did not turn around. Ugh. Fucking shitty, toxic old games with buggy ass fucking code. Get out of my way. You know I did not press the S key, not even once. I was like, I'm gonna go zone, and I pressed W, I pressed R, and I let go of the keyboard, basically. And then I'm like, why am I turning around? Like, it felt like a GM turned me around. It's like, what? Like, Jesus Christ, did you take control of me? Like, what the fuck happened there? Like, I did not fucking turn around. I think something confused me. I think, like, or no, this game doesn't have confuse. What game is that? It's 14. 14 has confuse. This game doesn't. Try again, piece of shit. Do better this time. This thing's too low. Too low. Will it even aggro? I don't think so, right? Yeah. This place is too low. I have to go to the glacier. Son of a bitch. Or not the glacier, but the, if that skeleton's too low, I'm fucked. I can't come to this zone. The higher you go, the less fun it is. It's so annoying. The more you have to pay attention, and the longer it gets between levels. So annoying. You know I did not turn around. I did not turn around. Do you ever see me turn around when I'm running from somebody? Ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I turn around, but not when I'm of like 5 health. No, I did not turn around.
Warp drive active. Docking request accepted. Autopilot engaged.
Why do I have a skelly on me? Why am I asleep? Oh my god.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate.
Fucking ninja. I don't know why that ninja's soloing.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Fucking annoying.
Oh, when they threw me and said this is all I have, I hope. Or, well, if you can, I could sneak back, then I'd be of. Right, my knees stop. Right,
The cave by the shore.
Approaching Stargate.
Right, but oh no, I'm frightened. My.
Autopilot
Right,
jumping.
Why can't I open with tab? It's stupid. I want to change it.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Why did you put map on G? G is such a stupid fucking key. God damn it. Right. Yeah, like south down the cliffs. Oh yeah. South, like south on the cliffs, like from where you first start. The first steps down the cliffs gets you to the shore. Oh, I see it. I see it now. I see it. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna go get my stuff back.
Approaching Stargate.
Now, Elden Ring plays like kind of like New World or EvE now. It's kind of cool. I like that. I mean, it always has, but yeah, it's sweet.
Are amenable to a national divorce.
Autopilot
Looks like
jumping.
the 250-year itch is real. And even soon-to-be also ran Nikki Haley is on tape claiming the Constitution allows states to secede.
We believe the states.
How many divorces has Nikki Haley had?
I think that they do. I mean, the Constitution. Warping to Stargate.
And admittedly, these numbers are alarming, though it's unclear to what extent it reflects a sincere desire to break up the union as opposed to a way to register their displeasure that the person you didn't vote for became president. But in 2009, Governor of Texas and King of Failing Upwards, Rick Perry, jokingly suggested his state would consider secession after the election of Barack Obama. But this isn't just a red state thing. In 2017, a poll found that 32% of California voters supported seceding from the U.S. following the election of Donald Trump, up from 20% in 2014. And again, after Joe Biden was elected, Texas is once again partying like it's 1861 by refusing to accept election results and threatening secession. Regardless, what was once unthinkable, the breakup of the United States, has become a real issue we can no longer treat as a mere hypothetical. So today, Legal Eaglets, let's talk about what would happen if states opted to formally leave the Union and whether that's legally possible. Now, typically it's a mistake to treat cranks with any kind of serious inquiry. After all, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not exactly what one would call a constitutional scholar, but her proposal is not without precedent. After all, the United States of America was born out of secession. And ever since the colonists declared themselves an independent nation, threats to leave the Union have long been made by various constituents of the U.S., but rarely acted on. And in fact, the first serious threat of secession came not from the Deep South, but from New England. In 1814, New England delegates attended the Hartford Convention to protest President James Madison's mercantile policies and the War of 1812, with more extreme delegates making an unsuccessful push to leave the Union. And then, and stop me if you've heard this one already, after the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860, 11 southern U.S. states broke off from the Republic to form the Confederate States of America, triggering a bloody 4-year Civil War. And of course, despite modern attempts by some to claim the Confederacy was fighting for states' rights, not slavery, we know that that's pretty much false. How do we know? Well, for one, the majority of the states explicitly wrote in their declarations of secession that the reason they seceded was to preserve slavery and prevent political equality between whites and blacks. But, you know, sometimes people are only textualists when it's convenient. But even cities have gotten on the secession bandwagon, or in this case, perhaps the secession yacht. Martha's Vineyard, along with Nantucket, actually voted to secede from Massachusetts. Yes, in 1977, the Martha's Vineyard selectmen voted 10-2 for secession to protest a redistricting plan that would reduce their representation in the state legislature. On an even smaller level, some Americans have simply proclaimed their property to be an independent micronation. For example, in 1998, Kevin Baugh declared his 11.3-acre property in the Nevada desert to be the Republic of Molossia. And since 1998, President Baugh has ruled his micronation as a benevolent dictator.
I am President Kevin Baugh of the Republic of Molossia, a tiny self-declared country within Nevada. That's within the United States. We have everything that a nation should have: bank, stamps, and the post office.
To date, no country has recognized the legitimacy of this micronation, whose currency is tied to the price of cookie dough. Now, obviously, if you're going to try and secede from the Union, you're going to need a good lawyer. But if you want a great lawyer, my firm, the Eagle Team, can help. If you've suffered a data breach, especially if you've gotten a data breach letter, or were involved in a car crash, or have dealt with sexual harassment, we can represent you or help find you the right attorney who can. It's so important to talk to a lawyer right away so you can get the best representation and find out all of what your options are. Just click on the link in the description for a free consultation with my team. Because you don't just need a legal team, you need the Eagle Team. Click on the link below. So let's jump right into it. Does the Constitution provide a right to unilaterally secede from the Union? Well, to give everyone's favorite answer, it depends. No, actually, no. States and localities have zero constitutional right to declare themselves independent and break away from the United States. Any votes to secede unilaterally is just political virtue signaling and with zero legal effect. And yet the, quote, constitutional right to secede is a myth that refuses to die, but for really interesting reasons. Now, no state has bought into this mythical right to secede more than the Lone Star State. In fact, Texans love to repeat the legend that Texas, as a condition to joining the U.S., negotiated an annexation treaty which grants them the unique right to unilaterally secede from the Union and once again become the Republic of Texas. But you might be surprised to learn that the terms of the Texas annexation contain no such provision. But Texas won't be cowed by your big city fact-checking and literacy. As a result, the state's conservative leaders continue to falsely proclaim a right to secede. In June of 2022, Texas Republicans were once again whistling Dixie by adding to its party platform that Texas retains the right to secede from the United States, declaring a right to nullify the federal laws they don't like under the 10th Amendment, and urging the Texas legislature to pass a referendum to determine whether or not the state of Texas should reassert its status as an independent nation. And in March of 2023, Texas State Representative Brian Slayton introduced a bill to put said referendum on the November 2023 ballot. And just in time for the 2024 election, the Texas Supreme Court declined to take up a case from a conservative group that wanted to add Texas secession to this year's presidential primary ballot. But that raises the question, on what legal grounds do some Texans claim the state has a right to secede? Well, according to Daniel Miller, the president of the pro-secession Texas nationalist movement, Texas has an implied right to secede because the Constitution doesn't say it can't.
Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution lists everything states are forbidden from doing. Guess what's not in there? Withdrawing.
In addition, Miller claims that the 10th Amendment, which says that the federal government only has power spelled out in the Constitution or not delegated by the states, means that states can choose to leave. Now, this argument isn't completely insane. There is a canon of construction that allows you to interpret contracts or statutes by what is included. Specifically, it's based on the Latin phrase as justum generis, which means the company it keeps. If you create a list of things and something is not included in that list, then you can assume that it was not meant to be included in that list. That being said, the argument is also similar to the one used in the movie Air Bud. Basically, there's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't secede from the United States or that a dog can't play basketball.
But you won't find anything in there that says a dog can't play.
He's right. Ain't no rule said the dog can't play basketball.
So I wouldn't necessarily hang my hat on that argument. Most likely, Air Bud would be able to secede before Texas. Especially because legal scholars and constitutional experts seem to overwhelmingly agree that the U.S. Constitution does not allow for secession. For example, Stanford Levison, who is a law professor at University of Texas, Austin, said that, quote, almost no lawyer would take that argument seriously. I do believe it is viewed as a closed question. And courts that have weighed in on the issues of secession have always shot them down. In 2010, Alaska's Supreme Court ruled that secession was illegal, and thus an initiative putting the question to a vote could not be placed on the ballot. So any effort to put a matter on the ballot in Texas would likely not be constitutional either. Even the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, who followed a strict form of constitutional interpretation dubbed originalism, said that there's no legal basis for secession. And we learned Scalia's views on this matter in a quite unusual way. Back in 2006, legally minded screenwriter Daniel Turkowitz wrote a letter to all 9 Supreme Court justices for advice on a farcical script he was writing in which Maine secedes from the US and joins Canada, leading to a climactic showdown at the Supreme Court. Scalia was the only justice to provide a substantive response to Turkowitz, and the late justice was unequivocal. Quote, to begin with, the answer is clear. If there was any constitutional issue resolved by the Civil War, it is that there is no right to secede. Hence, in the Pledge of Allegiance, one nation, indivisible. The justice also explained why a secession case would never end up before the Supreme Court. Quote, I find it difficult to envision who the parties to this lawsuit might be. Is the state suing the United States for a declaratory judgment? But the United States cannot be sued without its consent, and it has not consented to this suit. I am sure that poetic license can overcome all that, but you do not need legal advice for that. Good luck with your screenplay. And although the Supreme Court has never heard a direct secession case, it did address the question indirectly in 1869, and once again, it involves Texas. The Supreme Court case of Texas versus White, centered on the cash-strapped state selling U.S. Treasury bonds, to help finance its war with the Union. A brokerage firm purchased some of these bonds and then resold them to investors. And after the South's defeat, the Union-supported Reconstruction government of Texas filed suit against the brokerage firm directly with the Supreme Court, as the Constitution confers original jurisdiction to the top court for cases in which a state is a party. And Texas argued that the rebel government had illegally sold these bonds, and the state was therefore entitled for their return and/or repayment. The brokerage firm argued that these sales were legal and it had no duty to repay Texas. And in a 5-3 ruling, the Supreme Court ruled that the Confederate States' sale was illegal because Texas's secession itself was illegal, and as a matter of law, it never happened. Writing for the majority of the court, Chief Justice and secret grizzly bear Salmon Chase, who once famously graced the face of the now defunct $10,000 bill, declared, quote, the union between Texas and the other states was as complete, as perpetual, and as indissoluble as the union between the original states. There was no place for reconsideration or revocation except through revolution or through the consent of the states. So the Supreme Court has spoken. There are only 2 paths to secession: revolution or a consensual dissolution. Now, before you go thinking that declaring war against the United States is just this one weird trick that allows you to secede, or governments hate it because it's so successful, I should note that waging war against the government is not legal. It's what we lawyer types would call treason, a crime that is punishable by death.
Approaching Stargate.
Hashtag not legal advice. Don't commit treason. Also, seceding by force, even unsuccessfully, or especially unsuccessfully, will typically result in a high body count. And during the Civil War, about 620,000 people, or 2% of the nation's total population, were killed. So unless you're jazzing to murder thousands, if not millions, of your friends and neighbors, spend decades in prison for sedition, or get executed for treason, revolution is probably not the ideal secession path. In fairness, that would be the most Texas thing that you could do. But there is one way to secede without murdering a whole bunch of people. The states and the federal government consent to your secession. Now, of course, some states already act like their own independent nations and have the wealth to back that up. If California and Texas were their own countries, they would be the 5th and 10th largest economies in the world by GDP, respectively. And if one state leaves, it's easy to imagine the domino effect of mass exodus of red and blue states. So what would a consensual breakup between one or more states look like? Well, in a December 2022 article for the New Republic, Bryn Tannehill, a former naval aviator and a senior defense analyst, gamed out what a divided United States of America might actually look like. In the piece, Tannehill, who outlined scenarios for what she referred to as a soft secession and hard secession, which he described as akin to a separation versus a messy divorce, respectively. In Tannehill's view, a soft secession could look like the 56-nation British Commonwealth, where nations like New Zealand, Canada, and Australia technically owe allegiance to the crown, but in practice, they're all their own sovereign nations, and honor control is entirely ceremonial. The U.S. doesn't have to swear allegiance to the crown because we're dope and we do dope things. But she also cited as an example the Kurds in northern Iraq. Now, while technically part of Iraq, the Iraqi government exercises little control, and the Kurds have their own armed forces that cooperate in anti-terror operations against ISIS. Though that hasn't exactly worked out especially well for the Kurds historically. But the idea of a soft secession has its supporters on the conservative, albeit never Trump side of the aisle, like economist David French. French argued that different states and different regions should be empowered to go about American life in a radically different way without federal intervention. So in practice, this would look like a beefed-up version of federalism, which French describes as tolerance through self-governance and community autonomy. In the system, more power would be delegated to the states, while the federal government takes a hands-off approach to let the laboratories of democracy in their hands. So in theory, this type of soft secession would have the benefit of preserving the Union and power of the world, while leaving open the possibility of reconciliation. But that would also require Americans tolerating policies without a federal floor or rights and protections that many would find detestable or unacceptable, including dissenting citizens within said states. But Tannehill argues that a hard secession is a more dangerous proposition. Quote, this would involve a clean break, no more ostensible allegiance to a government in Washington, simply regions breaking off and forming their own countries based on religion, ethnicity, and regional identity. According to Tannehill, a hard secession could take many forms. It could be like the outcome of the called Soviet Union in 1981, which triggered an economic collapse and a huge decrease in life expectancy. Not to mention the successful states. Tannehill also cites the fall of Yugoslavia in the 90s, which resulted in a decade of civil war and genocide. Or it could be like Taiwan and China, a decades-long Cold War standing. But apart from the legality or illegality of the situation, a national divorce, even a consensual one, would be an absolute bureaucratic nightmare with a ton of unanswered questions. Like, how would the national debt be divided? What happens to all the money paid into federal programs like Social Security and Medicare for those leaving the U.S.? What do we do with federal assets like the Gulf Fort at Fort Knox or the U.S. military bases? And for that matter, what happens to the U.S. military itself? And the nukes? Dibs on the nukes. Yeah, I'm sure this will work out just fine. In short, yes, theoretically you could break up the United States through mutual consent, but only at great personal, economic, and political costs. There are just so many complicated issues to resolve, even with a mutual separation, not to mention that America's standing in the world would immediately and permanently be diminished. And even if the initial separation were peaceful, which I kind of doubt, there would be years of disputes from trade and redrawing borders. And as history has shown, regarding boundary disputes, there's no guarantee that we wouldn't break out into an all-out, bloody second civil war. Yep. So I know we've all been fussing and feuding, but let's just take a breath and remember, as Americans, we have more in common than what divides us, and find a way to work through our issues together.
He will not divide us. When they put him in jail, it'll end.
Going along with the plan to give the middle finger,
and the madness will stop.
That didn't work out so well last time.
I have faith.
So, Marjorie, stop trying to make secession happen.
I have hope.
It's not going to happen. Instead, let's just all take a breath and remember, as Americans, we have more in common than divides us, and find a way to work through our issues together. At least until the kids go to college. And if you're looking to send your kids to college, you'll probably need to find ways to manage your finances and save money. Luckily, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, can help. For reasons that I don't understand, Mint is shutting down, and Rocket Money is one of my favorite Mint replacements to keep track of all of my expenses. And it's better in so many ways. Now, recently I had a problem trying to get a handle on all my subscriptions. Between my personal and professional subscriptions, I was paying out almost $20,000 per year. Yes, being a real lawyer and also a YouTuber turns out is extremely expensive. Now, I hadn't been paying too much attention to what I was subscribed to, and I couldn't believe once I started to track all my monthly expenses how much money was going out in small amounts every month. But Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. Rocket Money allows you to manage subscriptions, lower bills, build a custom budget, and grow your savings all in one place. I'm using Rocket Money to help me cancel all the subscriptions I wasn't using for apps and videos on for months that I no longer needed now that Succession and Game of Thrones were over. But Rocket Money alerts you of important changes in your score and offers you insights on ways to improve it. It told me that a service increased their price by $100 per year. Look at that. And their budget setting feature is great too. I can automatically monitor my spending by category, get notifications when I've exceeded my budgets, and visualize my spend to earn ratio by month, quarter, or year. Plus, Rocket Money can help you keep track of your credit and net worth. So once you cancel all those old subscriptions, you can watch the line go up. It lets me keep track of my whole financial picture, including cash, debts, investments, retirement accounts, collectible items, and more. Rocket Money has helped save its customers an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. So to save more and spend less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/legal or click on the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock even more features with premium. Again, just click on the link that's on screen right now or down below to get started for free.
Great.
And after that, click on this link over here for
Great.
more legal
230,
legal, or I'll see you
226.
in court.
I just couldn't get you to alt tab to the
just
client.
pay for it. And how much do you need to scale if you did want to just pay for all your accounts through mining alone? I'm gonna cover this in this solo mining episode. It's a highly debated topic, and I do have
I don't think I have any interest.
All right,
in that.
I gotta say today I am quite happy to let you know.
Thank you, Legal for the excellent content for my stream. Thank you, Shadowfrax, for the excellent content for my stream. I've liked and subbed to your channel. Thank you, Some Ordinary Gamers, for the excellent content for my stream. I've liked and subbed to your channel. Thank you, Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan. I've liked and subbed to your channel.
Drugs and homelessness, particularly focused on providing a historical analysis of how many of America's...
Thank you, Force Gaming, for the excellent content for my channel. I'd like to sub to your channel.
Let you know, I think Enshrouded is a very good game. I've been playing pretty much non-stop this past week and still can't get enough. In fact, I have every intention to keep on playing after this review goes live. The game has just totally sucked me in, taking me by surprise with the sheer size of its world, variety of locations and enemies, great feeling combat, and an overall high quality of content across the board. This is exactly the sort of survival game that I've wanted for some time. It has all of the basic survival features with gathering, crafting, and building, but what is really at the forefront is a heavy emphasis on exploration, discovery, and classic fantasy RPG elements, all of which has left me regularly feeling similar things to what I found
this
playing
zone.
games like
This zone is not right for me.
And no, I'm not saying that Enshrouded is just like those games. It isn't in many ways, but rather that the sense of discovery and desire to keep on exploring that it creates is very much along the same lines. And for that reason alone, I've been loving my time with this game. Now, I'm going to talk a bit more in detail about the things I like and also the things I dislike and could use improvement. But first, I want to give you a rundown of what Enshrouded is all about to give you just a clear picture of what the game is. Now, officially, they are referring to this as a survival action RPG. You start off waking up with nothing but a pair of shorts and are asked via the main story quest to go out, gather resources, and begin construction on a base. Although even right from the start, things are open to be approached as you please, with a nearby cave system and ruins that are begging to be explored. Now, doing so will introduce you to combat in the game as you take on a few basic enemies, as well as rewarding you with some loot and consumables. And this rewarding of exploration
I'll just keep doing what I was doing.
Continues throughout the game. Now,
when I get a level,
you'll
it'll get
start
easier.
gathering some stones, and you'll have the materials needed to build your first flame altar. These are essentially plots in which you can construct buildings. Now, base building in Enshrouded consists of all of the expected elements. You're able to place foundations, walls, columns, and stairs, first picking a structure type and then what material, be it wood, stone, or whatever else you'd like it to be made out of. Now, after placing your first flame altar, the main story takes you through a series of steps, basically introducing you to some key elements of the game. First, you are asked to rescue an NPC, specifically the blacksmith. He is trapped inside of a nearby vault. Now, once saved, he can be summoned at your base and grant you access to new weapons and armor. Then after that, you are guided to an elixir well, in which you must make your way underground while fighting back enemies and dealing with the ticking clock of the Enshrouded mechanic, which functions sort of like an oxygen meter. Once you locate and destroy the shroud root at the base of the well, it will lift in the nearby fog and allows you to freely explore explore. Then next in the main story quest, you're asked to locate a few nearby flame sanctums and shrines. Activating these rewards you with resource used for upgrading your base. And then you're tasked with ascending an ancient spire. This is a massive tower high above everything else in the region. Upon finding the entrance, you will climb the tower by engaging with many different forms of jumping and other puzzles. Making your way to the top rewards you with loot and unlocks a new fast travel location. Now, these 4 objectives remain pillars of the rest of your playthrough. Locating NPCs along with doing quests for them, clearing various shroud routes found in elixir wells and elsewhere, activating flame sanctums and shrines, and ascending ancient spires and other major points of interest. These aren't the only 4 activities or things to do, but they are definitely the most frequently reoccurring ones. Now, after you've gone through the first initial steps, how the rest of the game plays out is really entirely up to you. You will be asked to continue exploring the world and completing tasks related to progressing the game's systems, mainly tied to finding new NPCs, unlocking further crafting and building options, and upgrading your flame altar, which is a main roadblock in progressing into the later stages of the game. How you do any of this though, the pace at which you progress, is totally your call. This game features a massive world, and I mean huge, and it is loaded with points of interest and places to explore, which if you want could very well sidetrack you for tens or hundreds of hours before making any significant main story progress. And that isn't even accounting for the base building as well, which could also easily add up to many hours even just in the early stages of the game. The point of which is, there is a lot of content, a lot of things to do, a lot of stuff to fill your time when playing in Enshrouded, and I'd like to go over some of these various aspects, starting with the world and exploration.
You've been examined.
Now, as mentioned, this game is tremendously big, but unlike many survival games that opt for procedural world generation, Enshrouded is static. All of the terrain, every point of interest, the items, puzzles, and boss locations, everything about the world in this game is the same for everyone. Now, initially I wasn't sure about this, but after playing and just seeing the size of the game, I've actually been fairly impressed with the variety of things to see and do. These include settlements from massive towns with tons of buildings, cellars, and towers to humongous castles. In settlement locations, you'll usually find one distinct faction of enemies and then also lots of loot and sometimes bosses to fight. There are dungeons of various kinds with different names like catacombs and sun temples. These are usually longer, more extensive excursions, and besides fighting enemies, will include some form of puzzle solving, traps to avoid, and also a boss to fight.
Yeah, it was a very single-player game,
camps,
yeah.
Most of which we've seen have either had bandits or zombies in them, as well as a mini boss. Now, so far we have counted around 8 unique bosses found at these camps, some of which are reskins with different sizes and difficulties. There are also things like buried tombs. These are sort of mini dungeons. You'll usually actually have to mine or break away rocks to access these. They tend to consist of a couple of rooms and a treasure chest at the end. And then there are many various smaller unnamed areas, camps, farms, caves, and ruins. Tons of different locations you'll come across while exploring the world. And while in these locations, you might happen to be on quests that you get from NPCs or from the main story quest line, but you will also very frequently come across pages and scrolls on the ground which uncover a bit of lore and typically also point you to new points of interest and locations on your map. And this is, besides just natural exploration, another thing that really fuels the discovery and exploration. And that is on top of all of the other points of interest, those main pillars of points of interest that I mentioned earlier, those ancient spires, the towers you have to climb to the top, solving puzzles on your way up, the ancient vaults, which is where you go to unlock NPCs. Typically these will be full of enemies and things for you to do. There are the elixir wells, which are like tiny delves that are underground. You have to kill the shroud root to clear the area. Sometimes there are bosses there. There are just lone shroud roots that can be found all throughout the world. You'll go and destroy those to clear the fog. And then there are the ancient obelisks. These are like information towers. When you come across and interact with one of these, they will give you the exact location of every specific type of point of interest. So maybe you find an obelisk that will show you where every shroud root in the immediate area is located. And all of these points of interest, all of these activities pepper the landscape, which consists of several different biomes. So you start out in this specific region with rolling hills and sparse trees and little mountainous areas. But then after that, you venture into this dense woodlands area. Eventually, you're guided towards the desert and eventually the mountainous region as well. Progress to these areas are not just gated by enemy levels, because higher level enemies are extremely deadly and you don't do a lot of damage to them, but they are also gated by the fog, or the enshrouded areas, as the game's name is. So beyond the different biomes, the game is further divided into two sections. You can think of it as the highland areas, where you are able to freely roam without restriction, but then there are just as many lowland valleys and ravines that are all engulfed in this thick fog. It's almost like they replaced water with fog. These are areas that you can walk around, but in limited duration, because anytime you enter an enshrouded region, what is more or less a breath timer starts ticking away, giving you a limited amount of time before needing to quote-unquote come up for air. This creates a sense of urgency while exploring these areas, as you'll either need to leave the fog before the timer reaches 0, because if it reaches 0, you are dead, or you'll have to search out various things like hourglass capsules or flame altars, which can instantly replenish your time. There are also things like potions and gear that can be used to extend the amount of time you can spend in the shroud. And this system all across the board creates a really nice push and pull while exploring these specific regions of the world, the enshrouded areas. Overall, I would say that the shroud makes up about 1/4 of the total play space. You'll enter these regions frequently, but it's not the only thing you'll be doing. You'll spend much of your time in the higher land regions, periodically going into the shroud to clear the elixir wells, to clear shroud routes, and to accomplish the objectives of certain quests. But most of the playtime is spent above the shroud regions. Exploration in this game, with all of this stuff coming together, I have found incredibly enjoyable, especially when coupled with all of the movement potential with things like a double jump, you have a grapple hook and a glide. There's the fact that the world is made up of voxels that can be destroyed, letting you make little nooks in a hill, allowing you to more easily climb your way up, or letting you break through walls or roofs. Like, this definitely isn't a game that has one clear, definitive path for you to get to point A to point B. No, this game has tons of freedom of exploration, and coupled with all these systems and the diversity of points of interest, all the different locations and the biomes, throw in the shroud system into the mix as well. Exploring in this world has just been incredibly enjoyable and satisfying. I really, really like it. Now let's talk about NPCs and the crafting system. So at the very start of the game, crafting is done on the go. You've got field crafting, where you're able to make the basic tier 1 tools, weapons, armor, ammo, torches, bandages, etc. You then will learn how to set up a workbench after making your first flame altar. This lets you build additional tools like traversal items. You can make your glider and grappling hook there, along with a ton of different base building related stuff. But then after that, everything comes from NPCs. These not only open up new crafting options, they also help towards general progression in the game and also feed into each other, especially when you get to late game. For example, certain NPCs will require parts from other NPCs in order for you to create things. Now, all NPCs will have tons of different quests. First, you're asked to find the blacksmith, as mentioned earlier, and he will have several quests for you, examples of which are, he'll give you a quest to find the next NPC chamber. So after the blacksmith, you're asked to locate the alchemist. You'll also get quests from him and the other NPCs to go to different points of interest to collect loot and rewards, pointing you to catacombs, towers, sun temples, and all sorts of areas where you'll get some sort of loot. There will be chain quests that take you to a few different locations on hunt for a rare tool, which will then be used to upgrade that NPC's stations or unlock new crafting facilities. NPCs will also give you hints on where to find new resources, occasionally actually pointing to their exact location on your map, because as you move through the game's different biomes and you progress, like many survival games, they introduce new versions of ore, new versions of wood, new consumables and collectibles, and just new resources for you to gather, and other various points of interest will be pointed out by your NPCs, granting rewards such as new weapons, glider or grappling hook upgrades, new building blocks, and plenty of other useful stuff. Now, generally speaking, here's what each of the NPCs in the game do. So first there is the blacksmith. This is the initial guy you get. He introduces you to the mechanics of crafting basic metal tools and weapons, as well as armor. As you upgrade the blacksmith, he gets much better and stronger weapons and armor. The second NPC you're asked to find is the alchemist. This is pretty straightforward. He is used for making various potions and other ingredients to fuel the other crafters. Then there is the hunter, who is used for making various hides and paddings. You can make tons of different arrows, as well as some hunter or stamina class specific sets. After the hunter, you're guided towards both the farmer and the carpenter. Now the farmer is probably one of the most important NPCs because she allows you to turn any plants into seeds, and then you can take those seeds, farm more plants yourself, basically create a bountiful harvest. This becomes especially important late game where resources are rarer. Also, the farmer gives you access to various cooking apparatus, can do simple things from cooked meats but more complicated dishes, soups, and even sandwiches. And then the fifth and final NPC is the carpenter, who is used for making planks, storage, and lots of decoration, which plays into the comfort system of base building, which then moves on to base building in the game. So this is done using a tool called the construction hammer. You equip it, and then it lets you enter build mode. Here you're presented with various template options for constructing a base: the foundation, walls, windows, doors, columns, ceilings, floors, stairs, etc. The game gives you various size options. You can place 1x1 and up to 4x4 variants. Place them however you want, using whatever materials you've discovered so far. So you start with wood and then move into various forms of stones and metals. The game does also have terraforming, although I haven't personally used much of it. You can use it to manipulate the terrain. Probably the biggest thing with the base itself, though, beyond being a place to store your NPCs and all of the various crafting stations, is the comfort system. This is a super important element of the game, as it provides a massive buff to your stamina, increasing your max stamina as well as the stamina regeneration. So you raise your comfort level by basically putting certain items inside of your home, usually all sorts of different decorations. Now this starts out, you get a comfort buff, it gives you that boost to stamina and stam regen, but at the very beginning it only lasts a few minutes. Eventually, once you get enough comfort items and a high enough level comfort items in there, eventually it can last like, we're about an hour now total of the comfort buff when we're back at home. And it is such a big boon getting that increased stamina and the regen that we're typically, if we ever die or the timer runs out, we're porting back to base to get that comfort buff because it's so helpful while moving and exploring. And then also at your home, besides trying to raise its comfort level and doing all those other things, you have got that flame altar, and you'll be upgrading this because, as I mentioned, upgrading
it's all good co-op. A single player, it's inferior to a lot of
upgrading
games.
the altar not only does things like increase the area in which you can build your base, but it also unlocks the ability to place new flame altars. So these will be used either to make additional bases, but more so we have been using it for fast travel. There are two places that you can fast travel in this game. You can fast travel to those towers that you climb. Once you reach the top, you unlock a fast travel to that location, and you can also fast travel to your flame altars, and you can have many of these as you progress and level up your base flame altar. It lets you place many more flame altars around the world. We just use these as mobile fast travel locations. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the game's various progression and RPG systems. There's quite a lot in here. So first we've got the gear, weapons, and items. The game has various gear slots for you to fill. There's helm, chest, gloves, pants, and feet. There are also accessories like your grappling hook, glider, 2 ring slots, and a backpack, letting you store more. The gear comes in various sets. These sets will come with bonuses that sort of tailor towards specific playstyles, whether you're focused on melee, agility, or magic user. There's also weapons in the game. Now these come in different rarities. There's white, blue, purple, and gold. There are some base level items that you'll get various rarities of, but then there's also special unique named items that always come in gold, and these are highly valuable. You'll definitely be searching for these because the higher rarity a weapon is, the more number of upgrades, with each one of those upgrades bumping its level, but also granting additional passive buffs. So you get more damage, you get new stats like increased crit or life leech or mana leech, all sorts of different abilities. And then there are tons of different items like any survival game. You got a bunch of consumables. It kind of uses a Valheim inspired buff system where food is going to give you useful bonuses like increasing your stamina regeneration, health regeneration, your maximum stamina, your maximum health, boost to the amount of time that you can spend in the shroud, maybe you increase crit chance, all of the expected stuff that you would expect from any survival or RPG game. And also the game is full of tons of different resources that fuels into the crafting systems: the woods, the stones, the cloths, the ores, salt, bone, herbs, all of those things. In addition to the gear, looking for weapons, looking for various gear sets and gear that has the stats that you want, there's also a skill tree. So you acquire skill points either by leveling up with a cap of level 25 or by clearing shroud roots, which will also grant you additional points, and then you spend those points in the skill tree. So this tree is fairly large. It's spread out into 3 primary sections, basically broken up into a focus on melee, ranged, and magic. There's also 3 different no node types, which I'll call major, medium, and minor, 3 different sizes. The major nodes, the biggest nodes, grant entirely new abilities. These include things like the ability to blink, the ability to do a jump attack or a double jump, and then all sorts of abilities tailored to the different playstyles in the game. In fact, they have rough archetypes in the skill tree that give you a general idea of the class fantasy that is fulfilled if you head in certain directions. These go tank, warrior, barbarian, athlete, survivor, beastmaster, ranger, assassin, trickster, wizard, healer, and battle mage. Now you have to keep in mind there are only so many skill points in the game, and you can't get every single skill node in the skill tree, so you are going to have to make decisions. While I was going through my playthrough, I was primarily focused on a melee build, sort of like a warrior slash tank hybrid, while also going a bit into the the survivor area, because I wanted to go in that direction to get access to the double jump, which, mind you, pretty vital. I would say double jump is a skill that absolutely everyone should get in the skill tree, which is actually probably one of my biggest complaints about the tree. I do find it fairly interesting, but some of this stuff feels like it should be
really
baseline.
generic.
I think double jump is a great example of that. Everyone should have double jump, because it is such a massive disadvantage to not have double jump when it comes to trying to navigate this world. Outside of those major nodes, you've got minor nodes, which will add strong but useful buffs like flat % damage increases for the various types of melee ranged and spell attacks, reducing resource cost of abilities, doing things like pacifying nearby wildlife, or increasing rest and buff duration, reducing the amount of wear and tear on your tools, lots of useful abilities from the medium nodes. And then the smallest nodes will give small stat buffs, but these definitely stack up to be very strong over time, especially if you get many of them. And these will mostly increase your attributes, give you more health through constitution, more melee damage through strength, agility, stamina, intellect, again, all of these standard RPG stuff. So that is a basic overview of the major systems, features, and content in Enshrouded. Now I want to talk a bit about what I love and what I think could use some work. Right out the gate, I gotta say, hands down, my favorite thing about this game is the world and exploration. I just think exploring in Enshrouded feels so incredibly good. Specifically, the varied ways, the many different ways you can approach situations. With all of the traversal options, which include the ability to climb ladders and stairs, the ability to double jump, your grapple hook, and your glide, using that in these various types of terrain, using that on any of these points of interest and locations, you can pretty much approach any obstacle, be it navigating the world or getting into a location or getting to a boss or getting your way to a treasure chest, in absolutely whatever manner you want. There is so much potential here for like creative exploration in the world that I really love, and that is just made that much more interesting by the varied amount of objectives, of points of interest, of locations. It just feels like a rich fantasy world that has just been incredibly enjoyable to explore and spend time in, and I love all of the freedom that you have while doing that. Couple all of that with the puzzles that there are to solve, the jumping puzzles, but then also just straight up puzzles, and with how big the world is and all that variety of content, I really can't say enough how much I have enjoyed exploring in this game, how much of a positive to the overall experience it is. It's one of the main selling points for me. But also the second thing that we really haven't talked much about so far, but I gotta say, I think the combat is extremely well executed. Now, it is a very simple system. It isn't terribly complex. You only have a basic attack initially, but then over time, as you get more skills, you unlock the ability to do more things mechanically in combat, or for a little bit more skill. But even with the basic attack, the block and parry and dodge system, even at the base, it feels really good. It feels very satisfying. And then you start mixing in the different type of attack options with the melee, the ranged, and the magic spells, which everybody can use. It doesn't matter what build you're going with. You can use melee, ranged, and magic, and you should use all of these things. Combat has been really, really enjoyable. I found the progression system to have a lot more depth than I expected. Now, the skill tree is what it is. It's pretty straightforward. You just spec in a direction, right? But you can go in multiple directions. You can go battle mage, where you got a little bit of warrior and a little bit of mage, a little bit of healer. I mean, I don't have to explain all of the different potential directions and hybrids that you can do, because the skill tree, like I said a moment ago, it shows you all of those different sort of archetypes and roles that you can fill. But specifically coupling that with the different sets of armor, with all of the different boosts and bonuses they give to the various play styles, whether you want to go tanky or aggressive, whether you want to go stamina focused focused, magic focused, or melee focused, or tank focused, or any mix in between. There's a lot of potential here for basically expression of the player, RPG class expression. And the last big thing that I've just really appreciated and enjoyed in this game is its co-op. Now, I've played probably about half of the time solo, half co-op. I've enjoyed solo just as much as co-op, but there's so much extra fun that can be had while playing with people. I know that is generally the case for pretty much every game, but I think especially in this game, it seems almost like it was built from the ground up with co-op in mind. In fact, they support up to 16 players per server is the number, and I think that's probably a bit too much. I'm happy with somewhere in the vicinity of 3 to 5 for my play sessions, but nevertheless, co-op, if you can do it, if you have friends who are playing, I definitely suggest giving it a shot. Now, like I said at the top, as a whole, I really like this game. It's definitely one, I know it's not saying much because it's just the end of January now, but it is one of my favorite games of this year so far. I mean, it sounds ridiculous because, yeah, we're only a month in the year, but I really, really like this game. I'm definitely going to keep playing it after this review, but nevertheless, I do have some points of feedback and critique here. Starting off, I think the game balance could use some work. Some enemies are just significantly harder than others, particularly things like the Green Berserker enemy type, way faster than every other enemy and way harder hitting. In fact, you see him about halfway through the game's total progression, and he still remains one of the toughest enemy types in the game, even once you get to the late game. I would say that the bosses are cool, but they feel a little imbalanced as well. Either you are over leveled and they are way too easy, or you're under leveled and they can one-shot you and take a significant amount of time to bring down. Very rarely did it feel like the boss fights when I came across them were perfectly balanced. And then also, because this game has so much freedom of exploration and movement, which is great, this also means that you can cheese pretty much every single boss in the game. It's as simple as double jumping and using a ranged attack, be it magic or a bow. Usually you just stand out of reach of the bosses.
Get on him. Get on him.
Pretty straightforward. I think it's cool when games have this system.
What?
Feels unsatisfying.
It's always one health and one shot. It drives me crazy.
Pulled out of the skill tree and just be baseline. Specifically, that
pounded
double jump,
two
I really
potions
feel like
for
that
some
should just
reason.
be a baseline ability. It's just a must-have. It's almost like without question an ability that absolutely everyone in the game should have, and not having it feels like you're at a severe disadvantage. There's a couple of other examples, but the double jump is a glaring one that I would say that should be baseline for everyone, and replace that with just a more interesting stamina-focused ability for people. Another point of criticism, or I guess a wishful thinking thing, is PvP. It's not in the game at all. Now, the developers have stated it's something they may consider down the road, and I seriously hope they do, because this game feels like it would just be so satisfying to engage in PvP, especially with all
not
the
on a
character
16-player
class
level,
that there is between the different weapons, the different specs, and the different gear that you use. I just feel like PvP would be very, very fun if that's something they could consider down the road. I would absolutely love to see it. And then another point that I want to bring up here is the fact that this game is incredibly story and narrative light. There is a main story quest. It's pretty much nothing but text. You're not going to be getting loads of dialogue or cutscenes in this game. I personally don't mind it, but I know some people will find this as a massive negative, so I did want to bring that up. But even with these points of criticism, generally speaking, I just have really enjoyed Enshrouded. It has been an absolute blast. I can't wait to keep on playing. I'm actually gonna leave the save that I currently have that I played through to do this review, and I'm gonna start a brand new save once the game is officially launching. And it is an early access release, but it launches this week. I'm gonna start fresh and launch updates because it's gonna be a lot of fun. I've liked it so much. I'm happy to go through it again, and I'm looking forward to continue playing. But there you go. That is gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
Oh God, get out.
And worst genre in all of gaming.
You aren't shooting at him.
Sometimes they're the greatest and sometimes they're the worst. Or that they simply have the potential to be both. MMOs are simultaneously the best and worst gaming has to offer. Nothing else out there has the capacity to fill you with so much joy or so much disappointment, to enrich people's lives or ruin them, to let you feel in love or to break your goddamn heart. And I want to talk about that. Still, I also want you, and everyone else on this planet, to know exactly what this genre is all about, where it came from, and how it's changed. Ideally, if I had my way, this would be something taught in schools to children of all ages, so that future generations can better understand the folly of their elders. However, unfortunately, my influence
I've
is
seen
not
this
at a level where I
before.
can enforce a global
You
curriculum
auto-played and
about
I
the
didn't want to
MMO
see
genre,
this.
so this video will have to do instead.
Nope, nope. Let's see what this is.
There's Wanderer here. Welcome to Horizon version 1.9.
Thank you,
It's finally here.
The Wanderer, for the excellent content from a stream of likes and sub to your channel. Fallout 4 content.
The update we've been waiting for several years for Fallout 4 Horizon has finally dropped, and I'm super excited to play it. I just got done reading through about literally 2 hours worth of patch notes while I had some coffee, so I'm all set and ready to go. If you're new to Horizon, if you're wondering what Horizon is, should you play Horizon, etc., I'll be going over a lot of the inner workings of the mod and some of the changes in 1.9 while I'm playing through it. But to give it to you very, very succinctly, Horizon is a overhaul mod for Fallout 4 that touches nearly every aspect of survival mode to make it more immersive, more challenging, more rewarding, and just a lot better. So, with that out of the way, let's get started with a new game on survival.
Oh my god.
We can't.
See, just go play the game. Several years in one guy. Oh, I can't check my Pip-Boy to look at it. Wanting to see if it's like a junk item or what that comes up as. It's gonna be a pain because we don't really want to. Ow! Yeah, Jesus Christ! Well, that's exactly what I didn't want to have happen. What I didn't want to get zapped while I was trying to harvest him.
Conan. Okay. Thank you, Kira TV, for the excellent content for my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
There's a real good chance that you remember this.
I know 20,000 leagues under the sea, 40 nights and 40 days. I hung and bung on the Titanic and Hercules. This is where the power lies.
Hulk Hogan was, and likely still is, one of the premier names in wrestling, rising to worldwide super fame in the early 80s. But we're not here to talk about Hulk's wrestling career. Oh no, We're here to talk about how he went from those fictional fights in the squared circle to a completely fictional life in the real world.
I was really flying 300 days a year.
300 days
And I was wrestling 400 to 450 times a year.
Hulk Hogan likes to say things like this on podcasts, which is a slightly different and updated lie from the one he originally told in his autobiography, My Life Outside the Ring, a book that was published in 2009. The version you've just heard sounds slightly more believable than the original quote from the book he wrote, which said, and I quote, "If I say I wrestled 400 days a year, it's no exaggeration. My years were actually longer than 365 days. There were times when I'd fly back and forth to Japan twice a week just to wrestle. Now it was nothing to wrestle in Madison Square Garden one day, then fly all the way to the Egg Dome in Tokyo the same day, because you'd gain 14 hours, and then fly back to the West Coast, and so on. So I could wrestle in Japan today, and then fly back across the international date line and land in another town yesterday. I was constantly adding days to my years." This, of course, if you couldn't tell from me being almost incapable of reading it with a straight face, is a completely mathematically impossible scenario. However, cutting Hulk Hogan some slack here, you could say maybe he just exaggerated the one or two times he had to fly to different time zones. Unfortunately, as with most stories Hulk tells, even that would probably be a lie. You see, Hulk Hogan, as far as I can find, never fought in Madison Square Garden one day and the Egg Dome in Tokyo the next. So it raises the question, why? Why lie about this when people can easily fact check? And that's the real question, one that's really hard to answer, because unlike many other liars, Hulk Hogan doesn't seem to be delusional or crazy. He's actually acknowledged his lies many times, and even backed down on them when forced to do so, such as the time he claimed to have a 10-inch penis, which is it's a fucking wild story in and of itself. Basically, Hulk Hogan was involved in a sex tape scandal back in 2007, where he was recorded having sex with his friend's wife. Not his fault, of course. I mean, who hasn't gone over to their friend's house, had sex with their wife while the friend is present, and then realised that these friends were actually recording you in order to try and blackmail you later? This whole situation came to light when it was leaked to Gawker, who then, as fantastically ethical journalists would do, posted some of the clip online, which then led to Hulk Hogan suing them for invasion of privacy, asking for $100 million in damages. That's exactly how a conversation about Hulk's penis ended up in national news and written into the history of civil lawsuits in the state of Florida. When Hulk was cross-examined by Gawker's lawyers, I doubt he was expecting to hear this.
Let me ask you this. Let's see if we can simplify this. Do you have any doubt as you sit in that witness stand today that you were discussing the length of your penis on Bubba's radio program? Any doubt?
Well, it's not mine, because mine isn't that size, but we were discussing the length of Hulk Hogan's.
Seriously? So,
no, seriously, I do not have a 10-inch penis, no, I do not, seriously.
This clip, and the entire scenario, is the man behind Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, essentially saying that he and Hulk Hogan are two separate entities, and that Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch penis, while he, Terry, does not. I'm not even sure where I'm going with this point. I just really wanted to include the fact Hulk Hogan had to take the stand in court and talk about the size of his dick. But let's just go back to the crazy stories Hulk Hogan tells about himself, whether in video, on podcasts, or in his book. Now, I'm not sure I need to tell you all who Mike Tyson is, right? Heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike, one of the most savagely brutal knockout artists in the world of boxing during his career. Well, Mike Tyson and Hulk Hogan were apparently going to fight each other in a wrestling match back in the day.
You were going to fight Tyson?
Well, we were looking at about the first $100 million.
And you and Tyson had the paper signed, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we were close. Vince was whining and dining him.
Now, this scenario is, surprisingly, unlike most things Hulk Hogan says, true. Mike and Hulk were going to have a match, but after it fell through, Hulk decided to start telling people that Mike Tyson was scared of him, which is just a hilarious thing to say considering Hulk Hogan is a wrestler and Mike Tyson was a heavyweight championship boxer, which of course isn't to say Hulk was athletic or not strong. Obviously he's not involved in any real combat sports, and Mike was an animal. This story is just a very easy way to segue into the many lies about Hulk Hogan's real, macho, manly abilities and his combat prowess, which funnily enough makes this Mike Tyson story seem like one of the more believable ones. So how about the time Hulk Hogan claimed that during a match in Japan, he beat Japanese wrestler Antonio Inoki so badly that he died, was brought back to life by CPR, and Hulk had to immediately flee Japan due to the Yakuza coming after him, which of course never happened. And Hulk Hogan returned to Japan many times over the years, which is a really weird story considering the match was televised and you can even watch it online now. Nobody died. So how about the time when Hulk said he used to wrestle pride fighters in Japan back in the late 70s, which would mean Hulk was battling some real, legit fighters. The only problem with his claim, of course, is that fight didn't exist until 1997, over 20 years after Hulk claimed to have fought these people. Now, I don't know if Hulk Hogan doesn't know that the internet exists or television, or if he thinks Japan's far enough away that he can just live a completely alternate life there and nobody would know, and maybe that's why he constantly lied about things he did in Japan as if it was another dimension, a black hole of information. But considering the next things we're going to talk about happened closer to home, I'm not really sure that's the case either, especially since stories like this next one don't lie about things that are far removed, and instead some of the most popular
I can't believe Hulk Hogan and Mike Tyson were gonna box.
Elvis,
That's insane.
yes, that Elvis, the king of rock and roll, was a huge Hulk Hogan fan, which Hulk lovingly refers to as Hulkamaniacs. So apparently Elvis used to come to his shows in Memphis, which is interesting since Hulk Hogan didn't wrestle in Memphis until 1979. Conveniently, Elvis died 2 years prior in 1977. And you might think maybe you're just getting the dates mixed up and this is some offhand comment read, but he wrote this in his autobiography to exist in print for eternity. So we either knew people were going to figure out he was lying very quickly and put two and two together, or maybe he's about to tell us that he's actually a necromancer and that he would routinely revive popular musicians to come hang out at his shows, since he knew that they were such fans, and even in death they wouldn't want to miss the chance to see his performance in the ring. Now this might seem like an unfortunate segue, but I will tell you it came about almost entirely by accident. Hulk Hogan isn't just a liar. Hulk Hogan has done a lot of good work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He has taken time out of his life to give sick kids their potentially dying wish to meet the legendary superstar of wrestling.
Long story, I'll make it short. I was in Wembley Stadium and I saw a lot of Make-A-Wish kids. I had a kid there that was in rough shape. The EMTs were with him. He was on a stretcher. His body odor and stuff, it had a smell to it that I hadn't smelled in a while. Not bad, but it was just a different type of smell. And I really wasn't sure what it was, and the parents were freaking out. They were Hulkamaniacs. I told the doctors and the EMTs
They were Hulkamaniacs.
in kind of trouble here, so when you say my goodbyes and you give them a hug and kiss him.
Hulkamaniacs.
Going out of the ringside at Wembley Stadium, it's all roped off. So I went to wrestle, and I kept looking, and the kid wasn't there. So when I came back from wrestling, I was the last person to wrestle the main event. I said, what happened to your family out there? He said, oh, the kid passed away. So when I found out the kid passed away, my manager, Jimmy Hart, from Mouth of the South, he used to be in a band too. And he had a couple #1 hit songs here in the States. And I played music before. So we stayed up all night and we wrote 12 songs for the kid's family.
And what you need to understand about Hulk Hogan, and most of the stuff I've said in this video so far, is that none of it's really that big of a deal, right? I mean, it's just grandstanding about how macho he is. I've got a huge penis, I beat up loads of really strong men, the most savage men on the planet are scared of me, I'm such a hard worker that I transcend space and time to work harder than the natural flow of time in our known universe. Small things like that. But then it's a real shame when you discover that this story about a dying child is also completely fake. You see, the wrestling promotion Hulk worked for only ever did one show in Wembley Stadium, and if you go to the wiki for the show and do a Control-F search for Old Hulk's name, you'll conveniently notice that you hear the distinct sound in case it isn't able to find anything, and that is because Hulk Hogan never wrestled in Wembley Stadium, which means this man went on a wrestling interview knowing that wrestling superfans because you're thinking, well, why would you ever tell this? Even if it was true, why would you say this publicly? But funnily enough, it actually gets answered in the next clip, which also segues into the many lies about Hulk Hogan's music career.
And Jimmy knew somebody from Select Records, and they got a hold of Simon Cowell. He produced a little album for us, and it went #1 on Billboard for 8 weeks. So we donated the money to the family. And then Simon came back to me and said we need to do a song with a band called Green Jelly over in the UK, and something called Leader of the Gang, a Gary Glitter song. And so that did really well on Billboard too. So when I came
I've
back
made like
to the
100
States,
million today.
I had the crazy idea since
Pretty
I was
good.
wrestling, maybe we should do music here. So I grabbed Cyndi Lauper, and
Autopilot
Rick
engaged.
Derringer, and a bunch of people, and we recut a bunch of songs, Land of 1,000 Dances and stuff. And Simon came over and helped produce the wrestling album.
Now, there's a
Moving to
few
Stargate.
issues with the rest of
Okay.
the story, and that is to say, none of it's remotely true. You see, the song you refers to here is Hulkster in Heaven, which didn't come out in 1992, which is when the Wembley Stadium event happened. It came out in 1995, and in the song
Oh
lyrics...
my god, why are all these
well,
YouTubers
actually, just listen to it.
wrestling
Here you go.
fans?
So he's recorded in history a song which we've established didn't happen, and it also didn't reach #1 on Billboard, as Hulk said. The album did reach number 12.
No, the
on
Hulk has
Billboard
never
Kids.
been in the top
So maybe
100,
Hulk was
no.
just confused, or his ego doesn't allow him to recognize
I would have
that
remembered.
#2, he can only be #1. So the 12 actually just morphed in his brain to be
Approaching
#1
Stargate.
and just skipped onto a completely different Billboard list entirely. And one other small detail is that Simon Cowell didn't produce these wrestling albums. He did produce the 1993 WrestleMania album, which Hulk, according to the Wikipedia article, has no credits in. Also, this statement...
Then he came and produced the second wrestling album, Pile Driver, and he never left.
Doesn't make a ton of sense considering Pile Driver came out 7 years before these events happened, and not in the future like Hulk's saying. So this entire story is essentially using the death of a fake child from a terrible illness in order to claim some kind of credit for helping Simon Cowell become famous, which is a milestone in and of itself. But funnily enough, not Hulk Hogan's only lie about music. The other really famous one he still tells to this day is how he was big pals with Lars Ulrich, the drummer and co-founder of Metallica, and how Lars Ulrich asked Hulk Hogan if he wanted to come play bass for the band back in the early days, but how it didn't really work out, which becomes hilarious when Howard Stern then asks Lars Ulrich himself, who had the classy reaction to the news, basically saying he doesn't even know who Hulk Hogan is, but not going so far as to totally wreck the man in the process as a true professional would. Hulk then of course saw this, and when people asked him about it again, completely changed the story, forgetting the fact that people had already got him quoted as saying something totally different. He changed it this time, saying he made tapes of himself playing and tried to contact Metallica management repeatedly, which is a very far story from being big pals with the founder and being asked directly to join. So I think we end it here because we could be telling these stories all day. I mean, I didn't touch on the time Hulk Hogan says he was repeatedly offered the lead role for the movie titled The Wrestler, which was eventually taken over by Mickey Rourke, who went on to take home awards for the performance. Hulk claimed he would send the script repeatedly, and this never happened, just like pretty much every other story Hulk Hogan tells. This was of course confirmed by the creator of The Wrestler, Darren Aronofsky, who said not a single script was ever sent to Hulk Hogan. I'm not going to end the video yet. This one's the last one, I swear. Okay, Hulk Hogan, why do you do these things? You're a legend. Please stop. Just be famous for all the things that actually happen.
I wrestled Andre the Giant with these boots on, and a couple days later he passed on.
So this one was particularly egregious because he did wrestle Andre the Giant multiple times, and he did wear those boots. But that was on March 27th, 1988. Andre the Giant died on January 28th, 1993. 5 years later. So unless Hulk was confessing to strapping himself up into these boots in his little wrestling pants and then assaulting Andre the Giant in his final few days of life, this is again another provable lie, and one that he told totally apropos of nothing in an MTV Cribs episode. I'm just really shocked that this man lies publicly about things so often and nobody just says, Hulk, you know, we know that's not true, mate, that's a lie. But yeah, either way, that's the video.
Autopilot
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. All these people went after Hulk Hogan, calling him a liar. He's probably so mad.
Active.
Oh no! No, don't die again. Oh god. Will I back up a little bit? No, not really. I'm down. Down big time, but that's okay.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Nothing's down. Shit, how many of those do I have? Maybe before I move forward, I should go see if I can upgrade. That one was very funny. The
This way, Tarnished. May I have a word?
Yes, yes you can. Is it Ronnie?
A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished.
It is Ronnie.
I am the witch Renna.
Oh, Renna, I'm sorry, Renna.
I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon
She's
looking
awesome.
into the matter, the talk, I surmise, is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent.
I can call the spectral steed.
Ah, as I had hoped.
Stargate.
I was entrusted this for thee, by Torrent's former master.
Spirit calling bell. Lone wolf ashes.
you. 'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. From ash and return to the Erdtree.
Cool.
The spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past. Now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest.
I'm gonna mess with these this time. Ooh, I almost hit her with it. Oh my god.
Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between.
I will.
How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
This game is so optimized. It looks so good, and it's so optimized, like really well. Oh, someone took my ice elemental.
Approaching Stargate.
I love this game.
Autopilot jumping.
I want to go blow this these souls on arrows. So
Warping to Stargate.
I guess I have to go back to. Oh no, I came to upgrade, yeah. Smithing stone. What's it take? Oh, 4 smithing stone ones. Okay, I see. So I need to gather more. Okay. Nice. Are we done here? Yeah, we're done here. So let's get mana and wait for reward. I don't want to die again.
Approaching Stargate.
I love the shield. It makes it. It really completes it. Quite really. It's so cool how you can block with a shield while you have a staff. So what was I gonna do? I'm gonna go buy arrows. So. Oh God.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate.
Cool.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Wait. Okay.
Approaching Stargate.
Oh, I'm gonna do my helm.
Autopilot
This is
jumping.
an arcane thing. Well, cool. I never came here in my other game, I don't think. Ooh.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate.